All right, I want to make one last video here for the sentence exercise at the end of the fricative set. Um, this is the sentence we're starting off with in terms of trying to figure out how to interpret spectrogram length or sentence length spectrograms. The reason I picked this one is because I think it's probably the easiest one to do. And this is what it looks like just by itself. This is what it looks like in the PDF exercise that I gave you. And you can see just by looking at it, I mean, it's fairly long. It's like 2.5 seconds long. Considerably longer than the individual word stimuli or tokens we've looked at already. But you can see there's lots of sibilant fricatives in it. And maybe that already gives you a clue as to what this is. But the way I'm going to interpret this, if you don't mind, and excuse me for the runny nose, is I'm going to create a text grid. So we'll just, actually, I'll do this slowly so you can follow along. But if you go in Prot and highlight the sound file that you want to annotate, you can go to Annotate to Text Grid. We do this a lot in 441 if you're interested. But yeah, what you can do is just create a tier on which you can make transcriptions. I'm going to call that tier segments and hit OK. And then I'll open that text grid and the sound together. We'll do this more when we do spectrogram reading for our review session here, or also in the last exercise. But what I can do here is some fun stuff. So like I said, we can kind of segment this in terms of just the sibilant fricatives. So yeah, I don't want to do that. Sorry. If I highlight or click on a specific time point in the waveform or the sound file, and then down here there's a bar that's going to appear in the segments tier. If I click on this little circle at the top of it, that gives me sort of a boundary that segments off the segments tier. I'll put another one at the tail end of this fricative. And we know this is a sibilant. Obviously, it's got a lot of intensity at the high end of the scale, and it cuts off at a low frequency, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be an esh. Prot gives me this nice sort of collection of different IPA symbols to use to type in there, so I can just click on the esh symbol, and we can listen to it. But that's the sh. We can compare it to, say, this particular stretch where we have a different sibilant fricative with a higher cutoff frequency. Pretty clearly this one cuts off much higher than we got for this. This one's around 3,500, as I mentioned before. There's no S symbol over here, but that's fine. We'll just type it in. But this is an S. Got another S here. And we've got another esh here. Hopefully you're seeing the pattern here. I don't know. Might not be immediately obvious, but we'll get there. This is another sibilant with a higher cutoff frequency, so that's probably S. I'll play them all when we're done, just to double check. Here's another one, high cutoff frequency, that's an S. And we have an esh here at the tail end. All right, oopsie, didn't want to do that. Wanted to click there and create an esh. So let's just go through these. Yeah, some of them are louder than others, right? So if you haven't guessed it yet, it's obviously a sentence that has lots of sibilant fricatives in it. We can also take a look at these. You can zoom in maybe a little bit, that might help. These vowels to check out the formant frequency. So the first one, low F1, high F2. I'll just let you know that's like an E. This bit here is kind of interesting. So it starts out with kind of a highish F1, so maybe mid-high, and a kind of centralish F2. This is going to be one of those guys. F2 goes down here because what I'm producing there is a velarized L. Oh, do I have? I should have, yes. Oopsie, don't want that. We'll do it this way. Can I add that to this? Yes, I should. This is cells. So
she sells.
Yeah. C shells. This is an E. low F1, high F2. Same pattern we got before with an F followed by an L, a velarized L. I don't know why it wants to do that, but I'll just skip it. So here's the shells. We got a little gap here. It's not really that voiced, but it's our buh. Let's put a B in here, even though it's technically just an unaspirated P, because we're not hearing anything there. Got a little I diphthong in the middle. Yep, do it this way.
But.
Here's, interestingly, this is what a voiced interdental fricative looks like in real life. This is the. I'll zoom in even closer. Oftentimes you can't really see the frication in these guys. They kind of look more like approximants, perhaps. The voicing kind of overwhelms the ability to create turbulence there. Here's a schwa in real life. F1's pretty low for this guy. Not that low. So this might be actually more of like a barred I. We'll play it. Yeah, it probably definitely is a barred I. So like, it's okay. These unstressed vowels are kind of hard to pick apart, but if you put a schwa there, that's kind of what you'd expect. But the way I'm saying is more this way. Let's listen to that all together. Not quite the, but the. Yeah, and it's probably a bit higher because there's another alveolar right after it, but that's the S. So here's the C part, and then we have the OR at the tail end. It's kind of hard to figure out where the O ends and the open O ends and the begins, but we'll try to put it there. I always get those confused, so something like that. And we'll throw in one of these guys for the Yeah. Yeah, so the clue for which we've talked about by now, but maybe not by the time we did this exercise, but F3 goes down for Maybe I'll turn the format tracker on so you can see that a bit better. Here's, that's not really helping. I have a creaky voice, which makes this harder, but this is F3 going down into the which you can hear nice and clearly. But this is the open O. O. It's more O than O. But yeah, there you go.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
All right. For the last spectrogram reading exercise, there are 3 whole sentences, which are not nearly this easy. And usually we work on them together as class, but I'm going to make a video for those next time. I think I've run out of time for today. I've made enough bad jokes. Hopefully all the mistakes I made will be forgiven as well. Not sure I'll do exactly the same for you because I want you guys to do better than me, but we'll see how you do on the final exam soon enough. Okay, and hopefully this will be useful as you do it as well. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow for the last video for this set of spectrogram reading exercises, and I'll see you on Friday for the review session as well. Okay, have fun.